I'm more of a Darwinism type of guy, survival of the fittest. Not everybody's supposed to make it onto the mothership, right? So you can give somebody some advice in
What?
passing. So you can give somebody advice in passing, but to stop and allot a certain percentage of your energy to try to force a horse to drink just because you led it to the water is not necessarily the best use of your time and energy.
Who says?
I agree with him.
I know you would agree with him because I've yet to see you ever check a woman or be heavy-handed as for how things need to be in this world. It got guys that pander to women with such thoughts like that because if you let stuff like that roll, just go unchecked within your village, that becomes cancerous. How many young girls have learned to twerk because that went unchecked? How many young girls take the dominant attitude as I said what I said. Who gonna check me, boo?
What do you think about Kenny's question though? Like, how do you feel about the women that are encouraging it, or the pushback that a lot of us on this side of the fence is having to deal with from those that's on that side that's condoning that kind of shit? Especially being, I think you have a daughter, right?
Yeah, yeah, and there's a
Yes.
0% chance she's gonna ever behave like that, right? She has a father, so that's where it starts, right? I think we have to make the best efforts to be in our daughters' lives, so that wouldn't happen. Now, present that question one more time because I want to answer it effectively.
The battle, the fight. You know, is
Okay.
it going to be a situation where we just ignore them all together and say we ain't them, even though we look like
Yes,
them, we all shop like them, or do we continue fighting the good fight and deal with the people that's condoning that mess?
I think we can do both. So we have the fight, right? We'll talk about it like discussions like tonight. Um, anyone who I encounter, I encourage them to do better. I reach out and do what I can. I'm definitely always down for the fight. I would never give up because I'm always working towards better humanity. But at the same time, I don't want nothing to do with you if that's all you're going to be at all. You stay on that side because you don't belong with us. That's just how I feel about it. You can't contribute anything to my life positively. So why would I have you around? And for an individual like Sexy Red, her foundation, in my opinion, is so destroyed that she might be too far gone for even Marcus to fix. Real talk. You know what I mean? Like it's bad. It's bad. I don't think she can come back from that. What she's seen, what she's already done, I don't think she can come back. So we have to realize that some people we're not going to reach, right? The people who at least have an open ear, then we work on it, right? Because there's some people who grew up around it and don't know much more, but maybe they're starting to get exposed to other things, and they're like, you know what? It's got to be something better. It's got to be something better. If they want that, I'm here for it, and I'll help you. I'll help people any way I could. But if that's what I think, that's all you're going to be, man. The hell with you.
All right. Does mainstream exposure on platforms like WWE Raw elevate black artists, or does it exploit them for controversy?
Exploits them for controversy, but it exploits them for controversy, but it does. Unfortunately, music in Hollywood, it's almost like all publicity is good publicity, damn near, right? So there's a high percentage of ratchet people that are going to tune in. There's a high percentage of people that are going to look at her as a circus act, right? And uh, likes to see a circus act, a car crash, whatever, right? So it's going to increase her attention, and that attention in this social media era increases how much she can get for every reel or spin or whatever it is that she accumulates. So it's going to inadvertently help her.
All right, go ahead, Marcus and Mike.
All right, what was the question again?
The question that I posed was, does mainstream exposure on platforms like WWE Raw elevate black artists, or does it exploit them for controversy?
Yeah, I agree with Mr. King Talk TV. At this point, everything is attention to monetize off the attention. So good or bad, she could have went out. I seen people go on stage and use the bathroom in the middle of a performance, like do crazy stuff. They like the battle rapper, and all it did was further push. This is crazy, get clicks and views, and it allows you to monetize it. So yeah, I mean, I think it's negative though. I think it's harmful to the collective image, but
I also want to give my opinion about Sexxy Red. I think that she's her image is being weaponized. Her message is, her lack of a productive message is being weaponized, and she really wouldn't have gotten this popular if it didn't have the potential to be so destructive. As far as guys stepping up and shaming or trying to put people like that in their place, that might be the mission for some, but I know that's not the mission for me. I'm more of a Darwinism type of guy, survival of the fittest. Not everybody's supposed to make it onto the mothership, right? So you can give somebody some advice in passing. But to stop in a lot of certain percentage of your energy to try to force a horse to drink just because you led it to the water is not necessarily the best use of your time and energy.
Who says?
I agree with him.
I know you would agree with him, because I've yet to see you ever check a woman or be heavy-handed as for how things need to be in this world. It got guys that pander to women with such thoughts like that, because if you let stuff like that roll, just go unchecked within your village, that becomes cancerous. How many young girls have learned to twerk because that went unchecked? How many young girls take the dominant attitude as, I said what I said. Who gonna check me, boo? That's one of the people that pushed that. You understand? Push the wrong things within our community. I've yet to see her do a PSA for education or anything like that. But guess what I did see? After she spit something out her womb, she was there twerking in the hospital. I did see that. Okay, that's a role model. That's something that, okay, I'm not supposed to say nothing about. I'm not supposed to remember the hierarchy that men are supposed to check these certain things and correct it.
Went to the high school high. Remember Kenny, she went to the high school high.
Yeah. Okay, that's showing a lot of class and couth. So who checks it? Oh, that's not my problem until it comes knocking on your door and your daughter tell you, who gonna check me, boo? And she's twerking in front of you with Jamal there pinching her ass.
All right, so let's start off with this. Where do I start with? You say what you haven't seen me do. Well, you probably wouldn't, because I have a life with the family and I put that together the right way. You might ask me how to do that, and I can learn how to do that part. My kids, they behave because I taught them how to behave. So as far as structure and guidance, I spend my energy doing it in a productive manner with people who love and listen to me versus yelling at cars as they pass by on the freeway. That is silly, in my opinion. It's a waste of energy. Maybe you should redirect to starting at point 1 so you can do point 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, you thought you said something prophetic right there. You are responsible for more than your house. You're responsible for your community. If your house is intact and then you step outside and it's a war zone, really? So when you're talking about legacy and lineage, I like when Law and you push that. There's a difference between lineage and legacy. They will put a bust up for me for what I've done in New York, but you don't know it yet, and I'm not looking for it. But
I'm
it will
catching
be put up.
strays. What I say, bro? I was just
that will be my legacy. Guess what? All the young guys that I've trained, and I'll stop it right there because I'm under a non-compete. As for now, they got working skills because they had the F title when they got out. They're able to They're able to make a living for them and their families, and I can't count that on hands and toes. They actually watch these shows and laugh because you think you know me. You understand? But that's fine. You get if you're telling me about running a constructive family and building a lineage, and then not saying anything to the women that come up here that are abrasive, and you just want to pal up with them, you don't think you're doing a disservice?
Is that
Can
a
I
question?
add in? Right.
Yeah,
That is a
I caught a
question.
quick stray. You know what I'm saying? Pardon my tardiness, fellas. You know what I'm saying? I hate being tardy. Shout out the panel. Shout out the good brothers here. And one thing about it, bro. I don't know how I caught that stray, but please believe I do a show every.
My God don't play with me.
you need to increase what you ask him for in your prayers, then.
Lord,
So,
Lord, you froze.
I
You froze.
froze
You
up a little
froze,
bit.
Lord.
Yeah.
All the way. Yeah, for the last 20 seconds.
All right. Am I back yet?
You back.
Yes, sir.
You in.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a show that we do every Wednesday, and all we do is correct. I only invite really women on the show. As a matter of fact, we sat on a panel in a room full of women and decided to correct anybody that we saw fit at that point. So, with that being said, the way I feel about Sexy Red, bro, is she's trash for the culture, and I don't put up with it. You dig what I'm saying? I really don't. But as far as if the WWE, are they exploiting artists? I think if whoever you are, it depends. If you're an artist that goes on there and that's not, you can't really exploit an artist that's not doing something that can be exploited. You know what I mean? There's certain people that benefit from going on there because it's a gigantic audience, right? And I watch wrestling here and there. You know what I mean? I grew up watching it. Are they exploiting people like Floyd Mayweather when he goes on there and Snoop Dogg? They're not exploiting them. These are different people. However, when you put somebody that is trashy as Sexy Red, anytime she's in front of any crowd, she's being exploited. So that's my issue with her and her type individually. But as far as the platform, I don't necessarily agree with that.